accolades have made their way inside your head. False sense accomplishments, you taste the filth where you have fed. Anticipating and you're salivating. Oh, false sense accomplishments, so why you still don't feel old? You can feel it in your veins, and you can feel it in your veins. Can't let the curtain close. Don't know why you still feel lonely. You'll never know what it means. Falling apart at the seams. Never enough. Never enough. It's your adrenaline rush, your serotonin rush. I can't imagine being shackled to the chains you crush. Anticipating, you're salivating. Oh, false sense accomplishment, so why you still don't feel whole? Can't let the curtain close. Don't know why you still feel lonely. You'll never know what it means. Falling apart.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. It is Wednesday night, so that can only mean one thing. We are back at your local dirt track with some racing action coming at you from the Over the Limit Racing League. We are currently visiting the Eldora Speedway is where we are at for tonight's events. Now, again, I do say events. No, I don't mean heat races and main races. We do have two series that run every Wednesday night. We always start off with the iRacing Pure Stock series, running first. Usually take a short intermission, allow the drivers to recoup, do whatever they have to. Intake liquids and release liquids as it may be, and usually pick up racing for the iRacing Big Block Modified Series at roughly about 9 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time. So again, when I say events, I do mean events. So again, if you like what you see in the dirt street stocks, the pure stocks, then stick around for the Big Block Modified event as well, because they always put on a good show. But as what was stated, we are at the Eldora Speedway, very fast track, always poses some good racing, and we are here for the Hideaway Motorsports 35. As always, I am Dustin Logston. Alongside me, helping me call all the shots for what is gearing up to be one hell of a show tonight at Eldora is the legend, the myth, the man, Mr. J. Stan, Jeremy Stanley. How are we doing?
Doing phenomenal tonight. Eldora, it's always been one of my favorites. Really fast, wide open track. Especially these street stock or pure stocks again, for that matter. Yeah, this track is amazing. I had the good opportunity to run last night with the boys, and the track digs, man. It's a lot of fun, and looking forward to what the open sets can showcase here tonight.
Yeah, so far from what they're putting down for qualifying laps, they're putting down some blistering times. I do know that you did catch some racing yesterday with the guys in the fixed series here in the pure stocks, and I know that it was fast, good racing. I definitely know a lot of drivers were trying to take down that outside wall going into the corner there right at the apex. The wall's still standing. Glad to see that, so that way we could get some racing done tonight. But the racing was hard, fast, and furious. Again, Universal, do not sue me. Copyright infringement. So, again, we are looking for the same quality of racing, if not better. Again, these drivers make these setups tuned to their driving style. Means that they can push it to the ragged edge, and they know exactly how far they can push it. As we talk about this, we did wrap up qualifying as it sits right now, and but with dirt racing, qualifying only sets up the starting order for your heat races. The finishing order of your heat races is what sets up your main, but nonetheless, we want to show everybody the times and where everything is at. Go ahead and run us through that qualifying order, Jeremy.
You got it. So Christopher Hill, fastest in practice, also by 3/1000ths of a second, takes home the top spot in the qualifying. Swade Melgard, who actually knocked off Mr. Zach Burnett off his bounty, so to speak. He takes it home second place in the qualifying session here. Jonathan Henry, the third car in line here for this qualifying, he's also only 9/1000ths off of Christopher Hill in third place. That's quite impressive how close the top three are right there. Fourth place is Zach Burnett. Fifth place will be Jordan McEvoy with a 174 lap time. Sixth place is Clay Atwood. Seventh place is Dane Lloyd. Eighth place is Joshua Peck. Ninth place is Steve Miller. 10th place, which is kind of odd to call this, but Sean Krawcheck, 10th place. He's got some work to do for this evening. And then to round out the field is Kenny Haight. He did get late getting his car set up and on the track, so he hasn't really got too much practice in just yet. So I expect his times to improve a little bit later on.
Yes, indeed. Now, you did make mention of Swede Melgard claiming the bounty last week. It actually started off as a joke, commentating, us talking about it. Local dirt tracks usually have a bounty system, drivers that continually win. There's a little extra on it if somebody can knock them off and take a victory from him. As through all the previous broadcasts, you could see that Zach Burnett had been on a rail in this series and had, just been in his own zip code, so to speak. And in one race, he literally was in his own zip code. But Swede Melgard knocked him off last week and did claim a $10 via either PayPal or iRacing credit bounty for knocking Zach Burnett off of that top spot. So again, the bounty has been reset, but with the way that these guys race, Jeremy, I don't see it taking long for them to build up another bounty and have somebody go for it.
I actually believe the field's going to be a little more not so. I don't think Zach Burnett's going to be able to do what he did in the first half of this season. So I was trying to get out there. I feel like the competition has gotten tougher as teams form a little bit more. I know we had some new teams come up this season. Since they're continuing to work together and get more acquainted with how the setups are handling amongst each other, I don't think Zach's going to be able to do like he did before. It's going to be a lot more difficult. And this track in particular, we're seeing some names that haven't taken the top qualifying spots here in the past few weeks. So, yeah, it is very possible, and it would be cool to have that system still in place. But I don't know about you, Dustin, but I really feel like it's going to take a lot more different approach on a setup to get to the level that Zach Burnett was running earlier this season.
Oh, and I agree. The level of competition has increased tenfold in both series, both being the pure stock and the big block modified series. And you can tell that just by QuickTime. Yeah, Chris Hill did take QuickTime for tonight's event, putting him on the pole for the Heat 1. But look at the difference. I mean, you're talking thousandths of a second in between first and second, first and third. I mean, you're getting down to the nitty gritty when it comes to these individuals. So I mean, these guys, they know how to race. They know what they need to do, and I mean, they don't leave anything to chance. I mean, they go out there and give it their all. And I think you're going to see a lot of different winners as we try to finish out the latter half of this season for the pure stocks and for the big block modifieds.
Yeah, 10-4 on that. We got a half a lap left until the Heat 1 is underway. Quickly just scroll down that field lineup. Christopher Hill, P1. Outside of him is Jonathan Henry in P2. Jordan McEvoy in third place. Dane Lloyd in fourth. Stevie Miller in fifth. And sixth place will be Kenny Haight. As the green flag is out underway, Heat race number 1 in the Hideaway Motorsports 35. 2 to 3 wide here, looks like, to start the event here. Christopher Hill does have that advantage being the pole center for this first race. Taking a little bit more of a lower approach there, Dustin. I don't know if you noticed much yesterday. Well, he saved at 45. Nice save there. But I was going to say that, I don't know if you noticed, but this track really gets only, as for how wide the track is, it only goes single file as the race goes on and on and on. That cushion really builds up, and the high line is the most dominant line, at least from what my practice and understanding is so far, at least from last night anyways. So, looks like Henry's about to challenge him. He slides up and actually makes some really heavy contact there. The two leaders get involved there, and a third car, four cars, no caution because of the heat race not having, it's such a short race, there's no caution, so that's going to really just string out the field. That's really unfortunate for those fast cars that have to now start at the tail end of the field.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate series of events that took place there. It's just that's that close racing. I mean, you were just talking about having these drivers, you know, that line comes in and it just becomes a single line. They all start bidding and try to fight for that single line. And, I mean, it's simple physics, Jeremy. I mean, two forms of matter cannot occupy the same space at the same time. And that right there is the result of that as we were watching Henry collect a few more drivers before all the mess was done and over with.
Yeah, a couple cars had to park, unfortunately, because of that. Jordan sitting real handsome right now as he is taking lap number 7 of 8, so 2 laps to go in this heat. Kenny Hay, as I mentioned, had barely no practice. Actually, just got passed by Steve Miller, but he's actually going to be sitting nice for the main event here. It looks like he's going to finish third if he keeps running the way he is, but definitely taking advantage of that. Entering the final lap of tonight's event for the heat race number 1, Jordan, like I said, he's a quarter of a track ahead. He's got no problem. Just got to run his nice little safety line there on the top, and he looks like he is going to complete as your race winner for heat number 1. So Jordan P1, looks like Steve's going to come out position number 2. Kenny Haight number 3. Christopher Hill finishes in 4th. Dane Lloyd in 5th. And to round out heat race number 1 is Jonathan Henry in 6th.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad outlook. And I tell you what, McAvoy's going to have him a good start. He's going to be starting P1 in that A main event. But again, a good recovery by Steve Miller to get second place. That's going to start him third on the grid for the A main. And then you were talking about Kenny Haight, who had minimal practice when it come to this track here, did show up and was able to finish third. So he is going to start fifth on the grid for that A main event.
Yep, it does look to be so that way. As the cars start gridding up for heat race number 2, we will go ahead and go through that quick running order while we have the chance to do so. So, starting in first place in this race will be Swade Melgard. Second place will be Zach Burnett. And then third place will be Clay Atwood. Fourth place will be Joshua Pack. And to round out heat race number 2 will be Sean Krawcheck in 5th place.
Yeah, now you were talking about Krawcheck. He's not a stranger to dirt racing. He's not a stranger to the pure stocks here, but did look like he struggled a little bit there in qualifying. I don't know if he didn't have enough track time to get set, but it's definitely different to see him at the back of the pack, but it's going to be interesting enough to see what he can do. As we were talking about, the competition in this series and the Big Block Modified Series has increased substantially.
Yeah, it looks like he kind of actually regrouped a little bit there late in qualifying. I think his lap number 3 was I think he found something, so that's why he's starting position number 2 for this heat race. As the pace truck is going to go down here. Looks like, green flag is out. Swade Melgard takes the lead here in entering turn 1 side by side with Zach Burnett. The orange car behind him of Clay Atwood, kind of a newer face to this league, at least for this series in particular, this season. Looks like he's going to try to show some muscles. There are basically 3 wider tracks really spread out at the moment. Clay really trying to go where no one else is going because of all that fresh dirt. There's some extra grip down there, so if he can get a good setup and a good drive off the corner, he can make that work, but right now the outside is seeming to prove pretty dominant. Swade Melgard goes to the inside to try to take a good Good run there off of Zach Burnett, and gets close, but no cigar there. Zach all the way up against the wall. It looks like Sway Melgard's going to kind of shift up a little bit more to the middle there, which seems to be the fastest line early on.
Yeah, and it's you can see it playing out right now. That high line is already coming in to be that preferred line, and you see Swede Melgard is running that high line and tries to get a run on that mid line, but is cut off on corner exit. That's where that high line really comes into play there, because they can hang it wide out, and they get such a run coming off that corner as we're watching Burnett get that run and just pulls ahead of Melgard. That, I mean, whoever's trying to make that pass on the inside, they have to roll out that throttle and they have to hold up. Otherwise, they're going to door check it because they're not ahead enough to even attempt a slide job at that point in time.
Yeah, I mean, this track's so wide and for the corners that if you try to run the bottom, you almost need a different gear ratio to really get the drive off the corner, or else you're just going to be a sit and duck and you have to run the high side. So it takes more than just suspension changes, this and that. You actually have to change your gear ratio to get what you need on that bottom. And so if someone can get that hooked up just right, there's not many cars that are currently running down there, and that'll be a great tool at their advantage late into the run. As you're about a lap and a half away from the end of heat race number 2. Looks like Zach's he's found his groove, it looks like. Running kind of comfortably right now as he's pulled away a little bit from Sway, not too much. Sway's really trying on the bottom. White flag in the air. Swade's got one more opportunity coming up in turn 3. Just doesn't have that grip like Zach does. I don't know if he's not really comfortable on the top, but he's running just comfortably right below the preferred racing groove. Zach runs a little low to secure his spot. Zach takes home the win in heat race number 2. It'll be Swade Melgard in second place, Clay Atwood third, Joshua Pack fourth, and Sean Krawcheck to round out the top 5.
Yeah, and you've seen that top line was already coming in. It's going to be interesting. These drivers can change their suspension to try to really run that bottom line. But like you said, a gear change is what it's going to take. Now, we have seen drivers in the past, and this season alone, do the gear change and have their car geared for that, and really excel down there. The name that comes to mind is Jordan Gage in the Big Block Modified Series. He gears it for that low line quite often, and he makes it work. So it's not out of the realm of possibilities for these drivers to do that. The question is, who wants to try to risk it by changing that gear ratio and committing to that bottom line?
It's going to take someone who's not currently in the top 3 or 4 to kind of make that bold move and do so, because that if you set yourself up for the bottom, that top is almost obsolete because you hit the rev limiter and there's no speed on the entrance of 1 and 3. So it's going to take a bold strategy by someone to try to make or break their night here. Cars are on the track warming up for the main event here in the Hideaway Motorsports 35. We're going to go down your running order here. To take the field for tonight's main event will be Jordan McAvoy. Second place will be Zach Burnett. Third place will be Steve Miller. Fourth will be Swade Melgard. Fifth, Kenny Haight, who seems like he's found some grooves here. Let's see if he can maintain that momentum he had from the first heat. Clay Atwood in 6th. Christopher Hill in 7th. Joshua Pack 8th. Dane Lloyd 9th. Sean Krawcheck 10th. And to round out the field, Jonathan Henry. The pace truck looks to be pulling down as it does there, waiting for Jordan to hit the go pedal. Green flag is in the air, race is underway, and they are really tight up there for the first 6 spots as they go 3 wide. Kenny going for all the glory early on, trying to get anything going there. Really gets choked up at the bottom, as we mentioned, doesn't have that low line gearing there. It just really gets slowed down. Jordan side by side here with Zach here, a little contact, some more contact actually causes Zach to bounce off the wall just a little bit. No harm, no foul there though, and it gives the top spot solely to Jordan. Yeah, again, it's racing deal. There's cars all over the track. I mean, these guys are 3 wide as they're going on. They're just at the start of their run, trying to feel their car out to see where it's at. That they're involved a number of the
the fast-paced drivers that we had seen. I mean, we know that Jonathan Henry's in the back due to his heat race, the unfortunate incident that he got collected in. But that incident there collected the 15 of Swede Melgaard, as well as the 80 of is the 5 of Chris Hill, bounces off that wall, and it looks like it collects the 7 of Henry. They do try to get it going back around. We're going to go back and take a look at that, Jeremy, and kind of see what happened with the 5. I don't know if he just went in and the wall collected him, or what happened on that one.
Yeah, definitely take a look. My perspective from up here was he just got too loose on that slick stuff on the top of 1 and 2. But yeah, if you can go back and take a look at that for sure, that'd be good to see exactly what happened.
Yeah, he did. It just looked like he got loose in that slick stuff, tried to correct it, and was not able to. He ended up overcorrecting it and tagged the wall. Ended up pulling a Truex on that one and did the wall ride, and Jonathan Henry just had no place to go after that. Ended up just hitting him. But again, we stay green. Racing continues as the racing action up front is still very tight for these drivers. That 422 of McAvoy running that high line, leading that train on that high side with that 14Z of Burnett chomping at the bit right behind him, letting him know that he is there. But a newcomer, Atwood, in that 111 car, also putting his nose and bringing his number into the mix here. A little bit of contact between the 14 and the 422. I don't know if that was meant to do that to try to slow them up because they're running the same line, but it was just ever so slight, but enough to put them side by side going through the corner. If they keep doing this, though, it's going to open the door for that 111 of Atwood.
111 is there. He's my man to watch out for. That guy is bad fast. But yeah, this is old school Bristol, man, set for it's on the high side. Like, Zach trying everything. He does complete the pass over Jordan. You got to try things, man. You can't just settle on that top line. You have to do something a little more drastic than you would at other tracks to make a pass happen here. And Zach did show that it actually worked for him. Actually, he almost got to the back of Clay there as well. But Clay, as he takes the top spot now, I think he's going to be running all the way up until the end here, as long as he holds his line and keeps it clean off that wall. For what you can, anyways, you got to push that limit, ride the cushion a lot, like Zach's doing right there, entering turn 3. Actually, he ran to the bottom a little bit. Let's see how that works for him. Zach's going to get a really good run off the top here. But Clay's still kind of able to hold his own pace there, which is kind of cool. That car is really showing some muscle.
Yeah, Atwood is really showing what he brought to this track here. And again, he took the lead when Burnett and McAvoy were battling it out side by side. I mean, they were just mere inches apart from each other, and didn't even think about Atwood being right back there. And as they were battling out on the high side, Atwood dove it to the inside and passed both of them in one corner to take that lead. And I agree, Jeremy. As long as he stays clean, keeps it off that wall, it does look like he is maintaining a distance away from Burnett. But you see Burnett's trying to search around that track. He's trying to find speed wherever he can find it. But I don't know. As long as Atwood keeps it clean, he may come away with this A-main victory.
Run looks like was holding up Zach and Clay there at the beginning because Jordan's just kind of falling back now. Now he's searching. He's running the middle, he's running the top. He's just trying to find anything he can at this point. 4th through 6th right now, that 3 set of cars is going on a pretty awesome battle, to be honest. Side by side, running multiple different grooves. Really close bumper to bumper there. As we do have a caution, it looks like. As we can try to find where that came from. It looks like it was the number 5 of Christopher Hill. It was 5 of Christopher Hill, just single car incident. It looks like he just, car struggling again. He got in that slick stuff and just got way too loose, and just where he did wreck it earlier. Kind of same issue there. These cars just not handling as well as he wants to.
Yeah, and you'd mentioned about getting in that slick stuff, and it is, as you see, there is some sheen up there at the top of that track. you let the tires get away from you, you let that car get away from you, you see what happened with the 5 of Hill. It does. It slides and it keeps on sliding. Again, that's why you see a lot of these drivers are really searching around this track, trying to find speed, trying to find grip. Where you can find grip, you're going to find the speed. Because believe it or not, the straighter you try to keep these cars, the faster you're going to be. Now, we haven't had a caution. This is the first caution. Again, that was an awesome run by these drivers. But folks at home are going to see what is called a Delaware start. So again, the 111 of Atwood is going to take the front row solely by himself. No other car is going to be up there. He is just going to lead. He can choose whatever lane he wants. He can go right down the center. It's his call. He's the one that controls the pace and the start. Second place at this point in time, which is going to be Zach Burnett, will get to choose what lane they want. No surprise here. It looks like Burnett is choosing that high side, which is where he has been running this whole time. And then the drivers will line up 2 by 2 after that.
Also, if you notice, this is the first time we've ran a night race in this this series, in this season, so it's kind of cool to see a little bit of change up as far as the time of the day is. But Zach riding that bumper of Clay there, waiting for that initial start. Green flag is out, underway. Clay with a nice restart there. 3 wide behind him.
Yeah, you had talked about riding right up there. You seen where Atwood was at. He knew that run was going to come from Burnett on that high side because that's where that speed is at. So very, very pro veteran move by the 111 of Atwood by blocking where his competition is at, trying to cut that run off. So again, somebody who knows how to get some work done and knows what to do and has his eye on that prize.
Heavy contact there in the final row of cars up on the high side there. It looked like the number 80 up Steve Miller hit the wall, but these things are tanks. Last night when I was driving, I ran down that wall quite a few times. Not a single part broken in that car, so and those things get beaten as they just did it again. He's actually cushion hopping there. Gets over that thick part of that dirt and just goes right up to the wall. There's nothing you can do at that point until the car gets straightened out. But pretty decent battle for second place here. It looks like Jordan, Zach hashing it out. I don't know if they made some changes to their brake bias or whatnot, but they are currently side by side again, which is kind of impressive that Jordan's holding the bottom as he tries a slide job in front of Zach and does complete that. Zach with the crossover. Zach's going to maintain, almost clears the nose of the 4 here, or 422 rather. He does get it back.
He does. As this racing's going on, we hopped on board because I don't know if you noticed this or not, Jeremy, but that 15 of Swede Melgard has worked his way back up after that early race incident that had him fall to the back of the pack, and he's now on the inside of the 422 of McAvoy trying to complete that pass, and he's doing so on that mid-line. So he has definitely found something that is working as he is trying to put some pressure on third and second place here. So again, some top-notch battling going on between the 14, the 422, and the 15.
I'm really enjoying it from my angle here too. As actually we got a wreck in the back there. No caution just yet, but the 80 car of Steve Miller really got loose. Collected a little bit on Sean Krawcheck. It really slowed both of them up. Still, it's green flag. It wasn't a big enough wreck to cause any caution to come out, but that's really unfortunate for Sean. Is now he's going to be sitting in 10th place here with a lot of ground to make up after that.
Yeah, and it doesn't take much in these cars either. Just one little slip up, especially if it stays green flag like that. These drivers are pulling high 18-second laps when they were at their fastest, probably sub-19s now. It doesn't take long to get around this track. So, again, he's really got to, and we've seen that he was struggling there on that high line, cushion hopping, which is never a good thing when it starts doing that. But again, it looks like your leaders are starting to spread it out now. There's about 2 to 3 car length difference in between first and second, second and third and fourth. And then it stretches out a little bit more after that on your all the way back to 5th place at Dane Lloyd.
Exactly what we saw there in the fixed race last night. The initial start, the first few laps, everyone was bundled up, and then as this track just kind of burns out, the cars handle so differently, and people try searching, and it just really spaces everyone out. So exactly what we saw last night. Didn't expect anything much different on this notion here. Christopher Hill trying the bottom. His car seems to be a little bit stronger after that initial spin out. I don't know if he hit the wall and it straightened the car out a little bit more. I know he didn't come in for a setup change or anything like that, so unless he just found something new groove that he's trying, but seems to be working on all right for him, kind of maintaining there back in 7th. As I go back up to the front pack here, it looks like Clay Atwood 3 to 4 car lengths now over Zach Burnett. And likewise again over Jordan. So yeah, they just keep slowly and surely just spacing out further and further apart.
Yeah, and it does look like that Atwood and Burnett are starting to spread it out and space it out a little bit more away from McAvoy now, as those two are running almost identical lines all the way through the corner, which is going to make it tough with coming up on 5 laps to go. It's going to make it real tough. Burnett is going to have to do something. He's going to have to try it. I don't know. He may have to pull out the chrome horn, almost identical to what had happened between himself and the 422 of McAvoy, whether that's, he did that to try to slow him up or whether that was just a product of the dirt racing, which is very well could have been. He's going to have to pull something out, though, because Atwood is not giving up that top spot, and he's not giving up that high line.
4 laps to go in the Hideaway Motorsports 35. It looked like right after I handed it off to you that Clay Atwood smashed the wall a few times, and Zach Burnett is there. Not even a car length separates both of them entering turn 3 at this point. Coming up to 3 to go. They are so close to each other. Zach's got the strength now. Let's see if he can go ahead and try to make something happen like he did at Jordan early on in tonight's event. Maybe that was practice. Maybe a little foreseeing of the future. To Clay, who knows? It looks like his car is just handling a little bit better as the track's still it's so slick up there. If you're not on that cushion, you are along for a ride for sure. It's just like ice right below that. Ooh, Zach really slaps the wall there and loses all that ground that I was just talking about there. With under 2 laps to go, he actually made a decent run back there, Dustin. Exiting turn 2, and he's back to the bumper. Clay Atwood, final lap, white flag is out. And Zach's going to do a massive slide job here, it looks like, over Clay, and he does make it happen. Clay notices it, takes advantage of it, does a crossover. Side by side, let's see if Clay can slide it underneath there. He does. I don't know if it's going to have enough room. Nope, Zach's going to have a good run off the top, and Zach Burnett takes your top spot again.
He was setting that up that whole time, is exactly what he was doing. He was setting that slide job up. He knew that he had to, really dive it down into that corner to do it, and it forced Atwood out of that high line, which is exactly what Zach was looking for. I tell you what, that was a heck of a play, no doubt, by Zach Burnett. But again, a fantastic race by Atwood, who showed a lot of muscle here for his first showing here in the Pure Stock Series here at Over the Limit. So again, definitely look forward to seeing what he can do here in the near future.
Yeah, he's showing some muscle for sure, and excited to see what he's got in store for the rest of the season with the Pure Stock Series. As they line up there for their photo, up there for the top 3. Let me go over tonight's finishing order. Zach Burnett obviously takes home first place. Clay Atwood second. Jordan McAvoy taking home third place. Swade Melgard going to be finishing 4th. Dane Lloyd rounds out your top 5. Christopher Hill in 6th place. Jonathan Henry in 7th. Kenny Haight finishes in 8th place tonight. Joshua Pack finishes 9th. Sean Krawcheck did not make up any more ground after that late race incident there, finishes 10th, and to round up the field, Steve Miller in 11th.
Yeah, again, Krawcheck and Miller seem to have a lot of struggles throughout this race. I feel that Krawcheck was just in this race to try to get a little bit of practice, a little bit of data before the big block modifieds hit this track here coming up. So again, it was an excellent race by these drivers to do and perform the way that they did. That I tell you what, the way that this racing goes, the way that these last lap passes. Jeremy, how many passes have we had that have ended like this? That you don't know. You don't know until that last corner.
Yeah, these veterans have tricks up their sleeves, and sometimes you don't expect it. Sometimes you do. They get really creative, especially this track. You have to, either with the slide job or the chrome horn or whatever you got to do necessary. Um, Zach Burnett did a couple of moves and found himself in first place. It looks like we actually have our third place finisher of this evening, Mr. Jordan, with us. Jordan, you got a copy? Checking again, Jordan, are you with us?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, loud and clear. Perfect. All right, so your car was pretty strong early on. It seemed like it started to fade off a little bit as the track really got slickened up. How do you feel like the race was out there this evening?
It was real good. I mean, track was actually pretty good. You could run the top and you could be with them on the bottom a little bit, so it was actually a real good race, but setup just kind of faded on me and I wasn't ready for it to be that slick up top, and it hurts to lose a race like that, but it is what it is.
Yeah, some real good strength early on. I was rooting for you. When you started shifting to the bottom and whatnot, a little bit of searching after Zach had gotten around you and Clay had followed suit. Was your car at all set up at all for the bottom, or did you get any practice down there, or what was it like a highline only setup for you? What was going on?
Actually, I put a gear in to more run the bottom. I really don't like running the high side there because I get in the wall a little too much and ruins all my momentum. So I kind of just put a gear in and a setup in to run the bottom there for the late race, but it really didn't work out for me too well.
I tell you what, it was definitely a good call. Believe it or not, Jeremy and I were talking about that to see if there was going to be anybody that was going to try to take that dive and that risk to put a gearing in to run that bottom line, knowing that a lot of people are probably going to run that top side. I tell you what, Jordan, the race between you and Zach Burnett, that was probably some of the craziest racing that was going on. I mean, you guys were nose to tail, bumper to bumper. You guys were side by side. There was a little bit of contact there to try to loosen you up out of that lead spot to try to get side by side. How was the racing out there?
That was really fun. I mean, I tried to race him as clean as I could. I got into him a couple times there, and by any means, I don't want to wreck anyone or I don't want to ruin anyone's race. So I just tried to stay clean and just stay conservative to the end. And it was real nice battling with him there for a little bit, and then trying to chase him and Clay back down was real fun.
I tell you what, it looked like it was fun. It was fun calling it, nonetheless. But again, it's excellent racing all the way around. It's knowing what it was. Do you think that you would have been able to have anything for the 111 of Atwood or the 14Z of Burnett as that race was coming to a conclusion?
No, I mean, my setup was real good there early on in the race. Probably about the first 10 laps, it was real good. But when the track started to get slick and that caution came out, it kind of just really faded away from me and really hurt me there. And it's just, it just stinks to have that happen, but it is what it is.
Hey, and so is the case when it comes to dirt racing, especially dirt racing, how it is on a Saturday night. Only we do it on a Wednesday night. Either way, podium finish for your first showing here. Again, we loved what we saw up here in the booth. It was great racing. It was good, hard, fast contact. I mean, it's what you would expect from a pure stock series. And you put on a hell of a show along with the other drivers there. So again, podium finish for your first time out here on the track over the limit. I wouldn't walk away with my head hung low on that one there. It was a good show, and you put on a hell of a race. Again, is there anybody, seeing as you got that podium there, is there anybody you'd like to take a shout out to? Any sponsors you'd like to say thanks to?
Yeah, I'd like to give a big shout out to my mom and dad, my two little brothers. They support me when it comes to this iRacing stuff, and to the Saturday night at the real track. So big shout out to them guys. Shout out to all my sponsors: O&M Landscape and Demolition, Texas Auto Ranch Auto Sales, Salvage Yard, XL Physical Therapy, Dividends Heating and Plumbing. All my teammates at Hot Lap Heroes. We put in a lot of hours into these setups, and it's starting to show. I mean, we're getting a lot quicker and a lot faster, so it's fun to come out and compete with these guys and be able to get a podium finish on my first outing here on Over the Limit.
I couldn't have said it any better myself. Again, fantastic showing, fantastic race that you put on there. You know what to bring next week. We expect to see you up here racing hard in the competition and going for the money next week. Again, that is Jordan McAvoy. That is your third place finisher for tonight's event.
Thanks, guys.
No problem. So it looks like we also have Mr. Clay Atwood, who finishes second place this evening. Clay, do you have a copy?
Sure. Yeah.
Clay, also one of the newcomers, putting on some strong muscle here in tonight's event. Looks like about halfway through the race, you had this thing. You had a good lead and everything, and then about 5 or 10 to go. Right around that point, Zach changed gears on you. Could you have done anything different that maybe kept Zach behind you?
I mean, I suppose I could have used the wall a bit more. I just try to do everything I can to keep it off the wall and race clean, and I didn't know where to be. You're kind of blind out front, not having any reference to go off of, and I could see on the split periodically that he was closing the gap, but it wasn't until I guess after the race when I went back and watched the video that I'm able to see where I should have been running, and I learned for next time.
Yeah, for sure. I did notice as he was catching a little bit, yeah, the wall was kind of used up more and more. I know I was guilty of that last night when I was running the fixed series. These things are tanks and it's able to hold up. As far as overall the car though, where did you have your car set up for the long run? Was it on the top? Was it on the bottom? Like, where did you think the race was going to be later on in the event?
Well, man, there was a big split decision and about what gear we were going to go with. A lot of the guys chose a lot higher gear, and I guess it worked out for me to be on a lower gear at the end. I think they thought it was going to go to the bottom. I kind of thought it was going to stay at the top. I had pretty quick times at the end of our heat race there, so I was confident where I was sitting at, and I was just really fortunate that they got into a bit of a race there. I think you're right about lap 10 or 12, and I was able to go to the bottom and get around them, and then it was, just driving out front on street stocks.
Yeah, it's so hard to try to gauge where that line and that fast groove is going to be at later in the later stages in races like this. We've seen it be on the low line. We've seen it be on the mid, on the high line. Jeremy and I quit trying to call that and try to figure it out because anything we try to call, it seems like it goes the opposite direction. So completely understand where you're coming at from there. And this one here, it went way high. It seemed like that there was a little issue with cushion hopping quite a bit and getting into that wall. Do you feel that could have played a little bit of the part in allowing Burnett to catch back up to you?
Man, I think it's right now. It's kind of man, it's a hard pill to swallow. When you look down at one point and you got 7/10 on the field, and then the spotter says 5 to go, and you look down and it's 2/10. And you're thinking, well, what the hell have I done to lose half a second? No, I mean Zach he drove a heck of a race. He did a great job. He reeled me in from I don't know where he was running. You could tell me better than well, I mean, I guess afterwards I checked it out, but he was getting a huge run coming off of 2, cutting across the bottom a few times, and he kudos to him, man. It was just a great job and a lot of fun.
Yeah, and you were talking about you had a chance to go back while we were interviewing McAvoy there and take a look at the race in action between you two, which was amazing. It seemed like he was trying to set you up there for probably the last couple laps, trying to see where that run was going to go at. Almost messed it up when he went into the corner there and slapped the wall, but he was able to recover. Were you expecting him to dive it that hard, that low, going through turns 3 and 4 to try to get that, or 1 and 2 to get that slide job completed and force you out of that high line? Is that something you were expecting from Burnett?
Man, I was actually fortunate enough to have Jordan in third. He's one of my teammates, and he let me know, going into 1 there. He said, hey, he threw the slider. So I saw it, and then I went low going into 3. I just didn't have the run, and I could have, slammed the door, but I mean that wouldn't have been, good racing. He did a great job, and that's all there is to it. I got beat on the white flag, and again, it's just a hard pill to swallow at the moment.
Yeah, at the moment, we can understand that feeling, but I tell you what, I wouldn't let it get to you too much because your first outing here, you surprised all of us. We were rooting for you up here as well. I do believe you were Jeremy's pick, just from what he's seen in the heat race there. So he was super excited when he saw you take that top spot, which again was a heck of a power move on that when those two were going at it. I mean, you did the power move in the crossover and cut it and passed both of them in a corner. So again, you showed some amazing racing skill and car control out there. So again, I wouldn't hang your head too low on that one for too long. But again, excellent race out there. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out to? Any sponsors you'd like to give thanks to?
Yes, sir. Hey, I appreciate the feedback there, man. That makes me feel good. It's a lot easier to lose when somebody says you did well. uh, Man, I'd like to thank, well, first off, Hot Lap Heroes, Team HLH. I wouldn't have, stood a chance of holding him off as long as I did without that setup. Garrett over at 789 Designs, he paints a great car and does a lot of good coaching us and helping us with our setups, as well as feeding us setups as we need them. He's just a great guy to know. um, Swede, Dane, Jordan, Cliff, all those guys I race with each night, they give me a lot of feedback, and we're getting better each night, so hopefully it'll pay off eventually.
I believe it will. It's only going to take a little bit of time, but I don't think it's going to take that much time. Again, you put on a hell of a show, and the credit is well deserved on that one. Again, we look forward to seeing you out there on the track again. We can't wait to see what you bring. Again, congratulations on your second place finish. Clay Atwood, your second place finisher for tonight's event.
Thanks, guys.
Not a problem, sir. And for tonight's winner on the Hideaway Motorsports 35, Zach. I don't know what color stitching you wanted on that seat, so we're getting that ordered for you. What color preference you got for us?
Man, I don't even care. Blue and green, you know it.
Yeah, you got it, man. Blue and green it is. You actually had a fight for this one more so. A couple weeks ago, you ran your own zip code and everything, and this event you had to put some work in. You didn't even finish or qualify in the top 3, and just an odd spot for you. And you kind of in the beginning of the race you weren't up there, and then late run your car, I guess, found some new life. And so tell me, like, how was your setup? Was it built for that long run? Was it built for the short run? Were you searching a little bit in the beginning? What was going on with your car?
Yeah, I kind of caught a little bit of an elbow at the beginning, which is fine. But we we work on these setups and we set the car up to come in at the end of the race because I I don't really know how that I get these good qualifying runs sometimes because I was actually I was kind of starting to get worried in practice. The car just on that when the track was really gripped up and stuff, it just I wasn't getting much of a drive out of the corners. But I stuck with it. Me and Henry we worked hard this week, and we like I said we set the cars up to come in at the end of the race, and I found some moisture up there. Kind of was getting up there in the berm and just got a run, and it stuck somehow.
He was digging for sure there on the top. It seemed like even like from last night, the cars were just really beating and banging off the wall. They're late in the run, trying to get any possible grip from that cushion. Um, did you practice it all on the bottom, or it looked like from the very beginning you were just on the top, stuck to it? Was that your game plan from tonight, or did you think maybe the inside line had a chance at all?
Yeah, I usually like to, I know it doesn't make for a good stream, but I usually like to try to run around the bottom, do some catfishing down there because that's just where I like to run. I just feel like I feel like these setups and my car just sticks to the bottom a little better than other people in these open setups. So I was kind of I had practiced on the bottom a little bit, but I could tell by lap times it was a couple tenths slower, And I knew from the fixed race last night that this race was probably going to stay up on the top. So I made a little bit of a gearing change before the race, and I think that done it.
It did something. That's a safe bet on that one there. Again, congratulations on victory. It didn't take you long to find victory lane again after the bounty on you got knocked off last week. Throughout the race, they're about mid part the race. You and the 422 of McAvoy were putting on a hell of a show. Getting real close, bumper to bumper. At one point, you were literally pushing him into the corner. And there was a time where there was a little bit of contact on his left rear quarter panel there that just slipped him up enough. That got you guys side by side. So the burning question was that a well placed little chrome horn bump and run to open that up, or was that just the product of damn close racing?
Yeah, I didn't try to move him out of the way. It may have looked like I did, but I didn't try to do that. I was trying to keep it as clean as we could. But the Eldora, it's hard not to. It's if you're not making contact with the wall, it's like you're making contact with another car because it was for the most part. I feel like it was pretty one grooved. I mean, up there at the top, that was you could run about a car width lower, and you might could get a run sometimes. But I feel like that the dominant line was up there on the top, and that's where everybody knew that they needed to be. And I feel like that was also why there was a little bit of contact at the start of the race. But that was just lucky on my end. That was I can't say I can't take the credit for that one.
I mean, you could take the credit. I mean, all you want. You were the one that was piloting it, whether it was intentional or not, or just the product of close racing, like we stated. I mean, it takes a whole new level of control to do what you guys were putting on out there. Um, Leading up to the end of that, Atwood had that top line secured, and it looked like just from what we were calling it that you had been possibly prepping him for at least the few laps beforehand, trying to set him up for one last hurrah, one last push on that pass. Did you already know in your head what you were going to do? Did you already know that you were going to try to really throw it in there on that last lap going through 1 and 2?
Well, I got to thinking about lap 15. I said I came in here and I pretty much made a promise that I was going to win this next race, and I'm going to look like an idiot if I come in here and I talk about how good I ran in second today. So I started thinking about it, and I looked down and he was like 6 tenths, maybe more, ahead of me at one point, and the contact at the beginning of the race that got me into the wall, it offset my steering just a little bit. I know that the right front was towed out just a little bit. I was having to straight on the steering wheel didn't make the car go straight, and I was kind of getting a little worried there. It was under caution, middle or more towards the end of the race, and I really it crossed my mind to even come in and get a quick repair because I just felt like I was feeling the pressure. And then on that restart, I opened up a little bit of a gap from third, and then I kind of felt like I was reeling in Atwood just a little bit at a time, and then it was like 6, 7 to go, and I kind of was thinking, I was like, man, it looks like I'm going to get a run. I was thinking in my head, I was like, do I need to throw this slider 1 and 2, or do I need to save it for 3 and 4? And then I was seeing that I was getting a way better run off 3 and 4. That was where I was making my ground up. I feel like, and I said, well, you know what? I'm not going to try to throw a slider 3 or 4 to go and calls and check me and him both up and stuff like that. I knew. I said, well, I'm going to get a run off 3 and 4. So if I can clear this slider in 1 and 2, I might have just a little bit of a shot, and it stuck somehow.
It definitely stuck out, but it was a drag race down to the end. He was giving it everything he had. And again, it made for an amazing close finish in the Pure Stock Series here. Again, a fantastic job out there. It's always fun watching all of you guys perform the way you did. But again, back in victory lane, you did deliver on your promise that you stated last week that you were going to be in victory lane this week. So mark that promise as complete. Excellent job. Again, congratulations. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out to? Any sponsors you'd like to give thanks to?
Well, I'm just going to go on the record first as saying I'm not promising a win next week. That's too much pressure. But I'd like to thank Henry. We came in on Thursday last week. We usually wait, but we came in on Thursday, and we said that we're going to get a setup dialed in because neither one of us are very comfortable here at Eldora. And we came in, started working on the setups on Thursday last week, and we knew what we had to get done today. And I hate it for him. I hate that he didn't get to finish a little better than he did. But thanks to him for the setup help. It seems like we've got a really good thing going on here with the setups. And thanks Statement Race Cars, Burnett Transport, my dad, um, CarQuest of Memphis, Tennessee, just everybody that helps out in real life and stuff like that. And thank my mom and dad and my girlfriend. I'm sure I let out a pretty blood curdling scream after I won the race. And if they didn't know what was going on, if they didn't know that I'd done this, they probably think that the roof collapsed on me. So just thank them for letting me get to come in here and do this. And thanks to you guys for putting on this gig.
And thank you for and all of you drivers for putting on a hell of a show there that allows us to put on such a good product here. Again, fantastic race, great finish by you and all the drivers that were in the race. We look forward to seeing you in race in action again here soon and seeing what you can't do. Again, Zach Burnett, your A-Main winner in the Pure Stock Series here at Over the Limit.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Jeremy, I'm getting word here that we do have somebody that does want to step in the booth here and talk about something. So if you could, would you be able to pull in Kenny Haight for us if he's not already in here?
It looks like he is here. Kenny, do you have a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right. So again, Kenny Haight, you've seen him in racing action out there on the track. He is one half owner of Over the Limit, and he is full owner of Full Send Gaming. Wanted to step in on an announcement that we didn't get a chance to make last week, but he wanted to make sure that credit was given where it was due.
Yes, absolutely. Swede, unbeknownst to you and to most of the people, we had set out a bounty on Zach Burnett as he had taken 3 races in a row. You stepped up at Charlotte, and for that, we are awarding you a $10 bounty claim on Zach.
Man, I appreciate it. For sure, didn't know that was out there. Kind of just by luck that I even knew you guys were racing last week, and I jumped in, had a really good race, a fun race, and man, that's a nice surprise. Thank you guys.
We appreciate you always coming out here and racing with us. I know you were here last season, and like you said, you weren't quite sure how we were running or when we were running this season, but you finally found your way back, and here we are. We've got you in winning the race last week and showing up tonight. And I heard Zach mention earlier that he's not promising a win next week, but there could be. We'll see how the ball keeps rolling, but there may be another bounty coming soon.
Good. I mean, we'll be there, show up the race either way. It's not about the bounty, but it makes it fun. You throw that kind of stuff out there. Appreciate you guys for doing that. I got kind of caught up in another league on Tuesday nights before I realized that you guys have started back up, and I'm happy to be able to make it on Wednesdays.
We appreciate you making it here on Wednesdays, especially when you bring race in action like you did. Again, well-deserved bounty claim on that. Something the admins and owners here at Over the Limit like to put on. Give it a little bit more of that local dirt track feel that we always used to see there on Saturday nights, Sunday nights. Again, it's the drivers, the fast ones out there, and it always puts a little bit of extra there when there's a little bit of bounty to be claimed. So again, congratulations to Sweden Melgard on claiming that bounty last week. I'd like to thank Kenny Haight for stepping in and issuing that bounty and awarding that to Swede for his performance last week. Again, great racing all the way around, Jeremy. Final thoughts.
Yeah, it was awesome racing all the way through. The track came in as expected for the most part for me. I didn't realize that some people had some more than what I thought anyways that had a shot there at the bottom, but that high side's just so dominant in Eldora, and we still got one more event, Dustin. We got the big block national race coming up here in about 20-30 minutes or so. after they get their practice in. So make sure you tune in for that race here in just a little bit.
Yeah, you are right. Again, they are getting ready to start their practice for that event here. Again, at Eldora. Track crews are out there setting that track up for that race in action. So, again, be sure that you stay tuned to Facebook and Twitch when we go live after our intermission. Jeremy, it is that time, though. We have come to it that we need to give a shout out to all of those that have made this possible, not only for Over the Limit, but for Nerd TV. Again, allowing you and I to sit here and do what we enjoy doing. Mini Motorsport doors, again, novelty doors for your avid collector, for your sim racer, your real racer. You can jazz it up like a sim car. You can do it as a real race car based off a real race car. They're novelty door panels, actual aluminum door panels. So, I mean, they're about as real as they can get. They do come in two sizes. One is $15, one is $30. I do believe it's 11 inches and 21 inches. Again, if you guys can fact check me on their Facebook. But again, real awesome products, great quality. These things are awesome to have. So take a look at them. Mini Motorsport doors. That is facebook.com/Mini Motorsport doors. Also like to thank Full Send Gaming, one of the proprietors. Again, we had Kenny Haight in here, the owner of Full Send Gaming. Obviously issuing and awarding that bounty there, so you see exactly what Full Send Gaming does for Over the Limit. Again, Full Send Gaming, stream, game, race, you name it, they do it, and they always do it full send. Full Send Gaming. Nerditudes. We cover anything gaming and simulation related. If you can play it and you can beat it, you can race it, we got you covered. We have a team of nerds that are set aside just for streaming, just for creative content, and we will always have your back and always cover the newest and greatest content possible. Again, that's Nerditudes. Get your nerd on. And Hideaway Motorsports, competitive setups and coaching. Again, a team of individuals that are excellent at putting together race-winning setups and coaching sessions for any asphalt track. Again, these are proven winning setups. Their coaching is proven to get drivers, knock their times down, and get them in victory lane, coupled with their setups. Again, dedicated staff. These guys put in hours upon hours each week on setups. They're working all the time around the clock with all these changes. Again, check them out for your competitive setups and coaching needs. That's Hideaway Motorsports at hideawaymotorsports.com. All right, Jeremy. That is all we have for here. We are going to take an intermission. Going to go off the air, let these big block guys get out here and start practicing. And we're going to be back on the air again for some more racing action here in about 15 minutes.
Yeah, make sure you stay tuned for that. I'm excited, man. The pro lates that I ran in last night were a lot of fun. Big blocks do a little different. They're not so fast, but they do provide excellent racing. So I know those cars like to hug the bottom a little bit more too, if I'm not mistaken. So that should definitely spread out the field some more than the street stocks even do. So I'm expecting a hell of a show from the big block cars.
Absolutely. Again, we'd like to thank everybody that tuned in live for this broadcast, or if you happen to be watching this on a replay, we thank you for taking the time to join in. Again, always try to bring you everything we can. Want you to stay safe out there, get dirty, and we'll catch you at the next track.